Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone had a great day today. So in this one, we're going to take a look at a couple of things as always, and we'll take a look at an interesting metric that I kind of stumbled upon, which was taking in the market cap of companies, subtracting the HODL position that they have, which kind of gave us the mining market cap potentially. The reason I was looking into this was HUT8 has been coming down way down in value in market cap, but yet still they have a huge HODL position. So I was trying to figure out what the heck is going on there. So what we're doing is taking the market cap minus HODL. We're getting the value on mining. Then we're taking the value of mining divided by the current hash rate that they have. And then this kind of equals investors' value per petahash. And then we're seeing that if a company has growth, they have a higher value. We're also seeing, what I'm seeing is at least growth plus debt equals lower value. And then if you have zero growth, you also get a lower value, but that's not the whole story there. So we'll take a look at that. And then we also have some things in the news today. So Mark Cuban is looking to buy more Bitcoin. He has some choice words for it. We'll take a look at that. Analysts are also worrying about Bitcoin miners. We'll take a quick look at it as well. And then we got Argo stopping trading today in the US. And then we'll look at the markets, Bitcoin, Ethereum as well first before we do anything else. And the miners were down today again, unfortunately. So we had new 52-week lows today. Bitfarms, DMG, Greenidge, Hive, Marathon, Riot, BitDigital, DigiHost, Hut8, Iris Energy, and Soluna all hit new 52-week lows. So we'll look at all that before we get into the stories and then get into the metrics that I talked about in the beginning, okay? So as always, this is not financial advice. You guys know the drill here. This is for entertainment only. Do your own research, and I'm investing in the following coins and companies. I did go I did go shopping a little bit today. I bought some more Bitfarms stock, and I bought some more Rivian stock as well, because they've been kind of being down here in the last 2 weeks. So I went into dollar cost averaging a little bit more. Not financial advice. You guys got to do what you got to do. But as always, if you guys enjoy this, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. Let's take a look at the markets here really quick. So S&P was down 0.4% today to 3,829. Dow Jones was up just barely 0.11% to 33,241. NASDAQ was down 1.48% to 10,822. Bitcoin was down 1.3% on the day. It closed at 16,698. We had a high of 16,967. So $300 swing roughly. And we are right now at 16,684. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart really quick here. RSI has come down and we're still pretty much in line where we were before in the price. So not much action, a little bit higher on it from here, but the RSI was also a little bit higher here. So it might be a little bit of a good sign there. On the 1-hour chart, we can see RSI did bottom out here at 25. Last time we were that low, well, it was probably for quite a while here. Back here, price was actually lower at that point. So that's actually kind of good. I might be turning a little bit more bullish here as we go into it. Now, let's take a look at Ethereum really quick. Ethereum was on the day today. Let's see here, zoom in a little bit. It was down today 1.35%. It closed at 1,210, hit a high of 1,233. It is now right now at 1,209. And the same thing is going with Ethereum as it is with Bitcoin. Now, the miners were down quite a bit today. Some were up quite nicely today. We can see here that Any was down 7% to 27 cents, almost 28. Argo, I believe, was in trading today. If we look at it here, we can see the last trade was on December 22nd. So they did stop trading in the U.S. England, I believe, had national holidays today as well, so they weren't trading. And BitDigital was down 10.78% to 54 cents. Bitfarms was down 7.65% to 38 cents. CleanSpark was down 4.57 to $1.88. Cores was down 20.76% to 9 cents. DigiHost was down 4.8 to 37 cents. DMG was down 3.16 to 11. Green was down 5.2 to 23. Hive was down 5.66 to $1.50. Hut8 was down 8.65 to 78 cents. Iris Energy was down today 1.68% to $1.17. Luxfolio was actually up today 21% to a little bit like a half a penny. Marathon was down 10.5% today to $3.24. Mawson was down up 1.65% to 23 cents. Riot was down 7.07% to $3.42. Soluna was down 25.74% to 26 cents. Stronghold was down 6.91% to 42 cents. TerraWolf was down 11.35 to 68 cents today. So those are all the miners. Let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick, see if it bounced back from it a little bit. We can see here that we're still going down a little bit on the 7-day average, down to 228. If we look at the 1-day average, we've come back down here a little bit to 202. Last time we were here was back here. This was in November. And prior to that, we were over here. This was in September. So we are coming back down. Could be the weather related also. Miners are shutting down. Could be also Bitcoin price related. So hard to tell right now, but we'll keep an eye on it. Okay. So first story is BTC price dips 1% on Wall Street open as Bitcoin miners worry analysts. We're only going to take a look at the analyst part of it here, which is way down here. And opinions diverge on Bitcoin miner contagion. Elsewhere, worries still focus on Bitcoin miners, with opinions diverging over the impact of current price action on their activities. Analyzing the popular hash ribbon metric, Charles Edwards, CEO of asset manager Capital, had a stark warning. This is by far the most brutal Bitcoin miner capitulation since 2016 and possibly ever, he declared. Not sure when he declared this. Hash ribbon's capitulation has captured the lowest Bitcoin hash rate reading of 2022 as miners bankrupt and default under the great pressure of squeezed margins globally. We can take a look at the chart here. This is what he's pointing at here, this green bar that came down, this green line. He's saying that this is the worst capitulation that we've seen. And this is based on the network hash rate, it looks like. It's at 156, which is where I think we bottomed out here just a day or two ago. And I think this is actually because of the winter storm that we had. A lot of miners were shutting down to help out the grid. And I don't know if it's capitulation or I think it's just weather related on this one. So I have a mixed feeling on this one compared to him. Now, as Cointelegraph reported, in the opposite camp, former BitMEX CEO Arthur Hayes previously dismissed miner problems as a significant potential source of contagion for BTC price action. Even if they were to sell their reserves in mass on the open market, he claimed earlier in December it would be something of a drop in the ocean in terms of supply versus demand. So even if they do sell, which we're not seeing a lot of them selling. I mean, we're seeing a lot selling, but we're also seeing quite a few of them still hodling. So if those that hodled sold it, it would be, what is it going to be? Close to 20-some thousand BTC potentially, if not more, based on just what I'm covering here. But there's also a lot of miners that might be hodling that we don't know about. Okay, so just want to point that out to you guys. And then billionaire Mark Cuban says he's looking to buy Bitcoin, but there's a catch. He's looking to get it at a much lower price. So he's quoted as saying, I want Bitcoin to go down a lot further so I can buy some more. I don't know what he means by a lot further. Maybe towards the 13,000, 10,000 mark. Maybe he's looking there. I don't know if we're going to get down to the 3,000 mark again. Cuban also says that he's choosing Bitcoin over gold, a precious metal traditionally viewed as a hedge against fiat currency. So this is interesting. So he's being more bullish on that. He's quoted as saying, if you have gold, you're dumb. No, it's not a hedge against anything, right? What it is a store of value, and you don't own the physical gold, do you? Gold is a store of value, and so is Bitcoin. That's the way he's looking at it. You don't own the gold bar, and if everything went to hell in a handbasket and you had a gold bar, you know what would happen? Someone would beat you or kill you and take your gold bar. What are you going to shave a little piece of gold so someone weighs it? It's useless, and that's at least what his thinking is on it. And I can agree with it. I mean, you're not going to be walking around with a gold bar and shaving it off to pay for things. Cuban has defended crypto against its critics in the past, including last month after fallout from the FTX collapse. These blowups, and this is a quote from him, these blowups have not been crypto blowups. They have been banking blowups, lending to the wrong entity, misvaluations of collateral, arrogant ARBs, followed by depositor runs, see long-term capital, savings, and loan, and subprime blowups, all different versions of the same story, which I agree. Bitcoin's still operating the way it should, and it's going to continue to do that. Here's another quote. Why have I invested in crypto? Because I believe smart contracts will have a significant impact in creating valuable applications. I have said from day one, the value of a token is derived from the applications that run on its platform and the utility they create. And I agree with that. That's why I've kind of gone away from all these old coins unless they actually provide some sort of utility, something that can be used in real world applications. And that's it for Mark. So that was kind of interesting. I just want to point that out to you guys as well. And then we have the story here on Argo. Blockchain suspends trading in the U.S. shares for 24 hours. Their shares did bounce quite a bit here. We can see it. Believe it was right there. Argo, let's see. Last week, Argo shares bounced 32% on, when was this? Friday? Friday, yep. So don't know if it's related to this. If some insiders knew or something like that, that news was going to be coming out. But here's the story. So Argo, blockchain and crypto miner whose shares trade on the London Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, said it requested a 24-hour suspension of U.S. trading in U.S. trading. UK markets are closed today, Tuesday. The London-based company, which has been in talks to secure financing, said it intends to make a statement before the start of trading on Wednesday. That is going to be Central Standard Time. I think it's 2 o'clock in the morning in New York's East Coast. What is that? You got Central. You got also New York time. You're looking at possibly 1 o'clock in the morning. You're going to get that information a little bit faster. That's usually when the England Stock Exchange starts trading. So on December 12th, the company said it was close to restructuring without having to declare bankruptcy. At that time, it said it was in advanced negotiations to sell some of its assets and carry out an equipment financing transaction to strengthen its balance sheet and improve its liquidity. So maybe they finally got something signed to help them out restructure this debt that they're kind of in a little bit and give them some runway. We don't know if it's going to be good news or bad news, but we will find out tomorrow. And they did say that it's only for 24 hours, so it should remain trading tomorrow. If it was some bad news, I think maybe they would have been halted, or if they're going bankrupt, maybe they would have halted trading at that point for a longer period of time. So I'm guessing it's going to be maybe good news. Okay, but we'll find out tomorrow. Okay, finally, on to the metrics here that I thought was kind of interesting here. Okay, so on this one, and the metric that I was looking for was based on Hut 8 being so low on the market cap and having such a high HODL position. Kind of got me thinking, what's going on here? Is there something that I'm missing or anything like that? So let's do this by, it's descending. So I sorted all of these by market cap. Riot has right now 572 million market cap, Marathon 378 million, Hut 8 has 182 million, CleanSpark 134 million. Now, when we look at their HODL position here, we can see that Riot has a pretty good HODL position right now of almost 6.9 thousand shares. Marathon has 11.7 million shares. Hut 8 has almost 8,925 shares of Bitcoin. And HODL position CleanSpark only 281, at least last reported. Now, if we take the market cap minus the HODL position, so we're taking the current value of their BTC value, HODL position, subtracting that from the market cap, we're getting the market cap minus HODL position, which is 454 million for Riot. And that kind of gives us their valuation on their mining operations. Is kind of what I'm looking at. Marathon came in at 178 million. Hut 8 came in at 30 million. And then you got CleanSpark at 130 million, followed by Hive at 74 million, TerraWolf at 112, Bitfarms at 60, Iris at 64, BitDigital at 28, Core at 32, Argo at 23, DMG at 14, Sphere at 17, Mawson at 19, Soluna at 13, Greenidge at 11, and then DigiHost at 9. So this is kind of the ones that don't have a HODL position. This is basically the same thing as their market cap right now, because we're not taking away that value from the market cap to see what their actual mining operations are valued at. Now, I took that number that we have here for the value of the mining operations, and I divided that by their current hash rate, which is right here. Where is it at? Right there. So we took that number, divided it to get a number for the petahash per mining value, basically. So Riot came in at 59,000 per petahash value. Marathon came in at 25,000, which is pretty low considering all things. Hut 8 came in at 9,000, which is really low. CleanSpark came in at 21,000. Hive at 30,000. TerraWolf at 83,000, which is the highest one here. Bitfarms at 13, Iris at 44, BitDigital at 20, Core Scientific at 2, Argo at 9, DMG at 16, Sphere at 48, Mawson at 19, Soluna at 21, Greenidge at 4, DigiHost at 14. Then I started thinking, okay, why are some higher than others, right? And I started looking into their future hash rate growth and also looking at their debt, seeing if there's any kind of correlation between the two. I'm not sure if this is an actual correlation between it, but I think there is some truth to this. It doesn't always work out this way, but for the majority of them, it does. So let me point this out to you guys. So Riot, let's just do this by petahash per, we can leave it the way it is. Let's just do it this way. So Riot is at 59,000 here. They are growing still. Let me see if I can pull all this stuff in so you guys can see it here. So they still have 64% growth left, which is good. They also don't have a lot of debt. If we look at their debt over here, their total debt, total liabilities is only 154 million. So that's not too bad. They have a lot of assets of 1.4 billion, total current assets of 476. So that's looking good there. So I think this is more in line with their potential future growth is what that's being priced at. Right, we have 64% growth left. If we look at Marathon is at $25,000 per petahash. They still have a lot of growth, 231% growth left from where they are right now. But they do have a lot of debt, which I think is what's weighing them down right here. There's some uncertainty that perhaps they will go to like Iris, not Iris, well, kind of like Iris said to Sold, but more like Core Scientific that is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. We've seen also possibly other ones going to be going in that route. We don't know what's going to happen with Argo until tomorrow. We may get some more information from it, but we may have others as well, like Greenidge, Mawson, which are in kind of trouble right now as well. So I wonder if that's being also as a discount on it right now. Because if you look at Marathons, they have a total liabilities of 850 million. Their all assets is pretty good, but their total current assets is only 240 million, which that's concerning, right? So you have a total of a negative of $610 million if you take total liabilities from total current assets. I mean, they would have to sell all of their assets, or half of their assets at least, to cover their total liabilities. So I think that's a concern there. Okay, now when we get into Hut 8, Hut 8 has actually a pretty good balance sheet. They have total liabilities of only 67 million, total current assets of 265 million. That includes obviously their HODL position as well. And Marathon's also total current assets as part of that, I think, is their HODL position as well. But you got their HODL position in here for Hut 8, along with value of certain things that's in there. I'm not going to look into it all. But so their balance sheet is really good. The only thing that I see here that's a negative for Hut 8 is their future growth. They're pretty much tapped out right now. They are 100% installed. You can see here they have 0% growth left. That is being weighed quite heavily on their stock, it looks like. At least that's the way it appears to me. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree. Now, CleanSpark is at 21,000 per petahash. They only have 18% growth left. They also don't have, I mean, their balance sheet is good. They don't have a lot of debt, but it's not as good as Hut 8's is, but they've been growing like crazy. And it looks like, if we look at it, total liabilities is only 48 million, total current assets is 50 million, so they do have enough to pay that. So I don't think this is a concern here. I think it's only at 21 right now because we don't have anything concrete reported for growing to 16 exahash next year. I think if they actually report having contracts signed for purchases or anything like that, I think that will increase their petahash value here. We can see it also here with Hive. Hive is a little bit higher at 30, but they also have about 90% growth left in them from where they are right now. Their balance sheet is also good, so there's no concerns there. So they're a little bit higher than CleanSpark is and higher than Hut 8 because they do have growth. So that's kind of why I'm thinking Hut 8 is getting kind of beaten down here because of zero growth. Now, if we look at TeraWulf, TeraWulf has a pretty good growth here. They don't have a HODL position, but they are at 83,000 per petahash right now. Investors are highly valuing their future growth, it looks like, more so than they are with their current debt. And their current debt isn't too bad, but it's also not outstanding here. So if you look at total current assets, it's only 16. Total liabilities is 188 million. Total current liabilities is 105 million. So that is concerning too, I think, because they are supposed to be getting a lot more miners installed within the next couple months. The reason they are so highly priced is because of that future growth and potentially that they're going to be able to withstand this bear market possibly, but we'll have to see on that one. I think they're just getting more, what's the word I'm looking for? More value because of the growth. That's kind of my thinking. Let me know if you guys agree. Now, Bitfarms is at 13. They're pretty low. I think this one is also kind of strange because their balance sheet is pretty good as well. If you look at it here, they have total current assets of 102 million. total liabilities is only 113, and their total current liabilities is 82 million. So there's no concern there for them. But I think the only concern with Bitfarms is their operations in overseas, in what is it, Central America? I think that they're trying to get things going. I can't remember the name right now; it's gone out of my head. But I know that that's maybe a concern there. That might not work out as planned because they still have pretty good growth left. It's not the biggest, but they do have 70% growth left in them. And then you got Iris. Iris, I think, has zero growth left right now. They said that they are going to be getting more miners, but I think this one's lagging a little bit here as far as the value here, 44,000 per petahash. I think it's lagging behind from when they had close to, what are they close to? Almost 4 exahash. They've come way down because they had to get rid of 3.6 exahash, I believe. So I think this is a little bit lagging behind. The stock has been coming down tremendously in the last couple of weeks, but I think it's just lagging behind. And if we look at their, well, we still also don't have their current Q3 numbers. So that might be a reason why as well. Because on these numbers, it still doesn't look too bad. You got 237 million in Australian dollars and then total liabilities of 217. So they were still looking pretty good there on that part. So that might be the reason as well. Now, BitDigital is at 28,000 per petahash, and they still have a pretty good growth, so I can understand that. Core Scientific is, where are they at? Oh, sorry, BitDigital was 28,000, and then Core Scientific was at 2,000, which we know why, because they're going into bankruptcy, so they're getting hugely discounted because of it. Argo is at 9, again, zero growth here. And they have also quite a bit of debt here, if I believe. Let me see here. Total current assets, 166. Total current liabilities isn't that bad, but they have been burning through cash like crazy. So there's some concern there with them as well. So that's kind of why I see that one being the way it is. So contribution of zero growth along with potential to stay in business has weighed down on them. And you got DMG at 16,000 per petahash. They still have a little bit of growth left, so you can see that one. But DMG, I believe, well, the data's still old on that one, along with Argo. Sphere is at 48. Sphere, we know, is going to be growing quite nicely here. They're going to be growing by about 475% when they do get the miners. So we can see here that growth, future growth, is having a huge impact on them as well, even though their numbers, let's take a look at it here. They have total current assets of 29 million. Total liabilities is at 5 million. So they're in good shape right now as it is. So I don't see a problem with them. So that's kind of why we're seeing 48,000 per petahash on them. Next is Mawson. Mawson is at 19, pretty low also. We don't have too much growth left, 70%. But they are also a growing concern here with their numbers here. So total assets, 37 million. Total current liabilities is 62 million. So that's being weighed down on them as well. At 19 a little bit, not as much as some of the other ones. Soluna is at 21, and their growth is going to be 267% if they can pull it off, but there's also a concern here with, I believe, their debt. Total current assets was 5.9 million. Total current liabilities was 27, so that's possibly why they're down a little bit on that one. And then Greenidge is at 4,000 per petahash compared to their growth of 88% only. And let's take a look at Greenidge's really quick here. Is total current assets 54.5 million, and they have 98 million in total current liabilities. So that's a concern there for them. So Soluna is a little strange here as far as things not adding up potentially. I mean, total current assets, I would think it would be actually lower than this for Soluna. But there might be some positive growth here, so I think that's why it's being valued up. So let me know what you guys think of this. I think this is kind of telling of where the investors are looking at right now. I think it's growth, and then they're looking at debt. Debt is going to give a lower value to them for their mining operations. Growth is going to help them out. And I mean, we can see it here, obviously, with Riot and Marathon being quite up there. But if we look at the top leaders here, let's do this descending. We got TerraWolf at number 1 with 83,000 per petahash, and then followed by Riot, Sphere, Iris, Hive, Marathon, and CleanSpark. So kind of interesting. And then if we look at the market cap minus HODL position, this is also kind of interesting as well. So we're descending. We can see here Riot came in at number 1 spot with 454 million per Mining operations compared to Marathon only 178, CleanSpark at 130, TerraWolf at 112, Hive at 74, Iris Energy at 64, Bitfarms at 60, Core at 32, then you get to Hut 8 at 30. So, I mean, it is strange that Hut 8 is all the way down here, given that they have $151 million in value of Bitcoin, but they're not growing. So let me know what you guys think of this, because this is kind of interesting. I wonder if this is going to play out continually like this. If somebody reports they're growing their hash rate, reporting on buying miners, if that's going to help increase, I would think so. If stock goes up, that should help them increase their mining value, I guess. Okay, so that is it. Let me know what you guys thought of this. I thought it was kind of cool just to kind of go over it and maybe shed some light as to why some are way down compared to others. I'm surprised that Marathon is now lower than Ride, but based on their debt, I can see why that is, especially in the market that we're in. There's a lot of concern for it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. Spreadsheet is available to my Patreon members. They're great over there. Thank you to everyone there. You guys are great also. Thank you so much for watching. Love you all. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see if I can find some other metrics. Having this much data is also great because you can kind of play around with the data, see what you come up with. You never know. All right, so that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great night. Bye.